Hello, dear Libra. This video was made for one sacred reason, to help you recognize that something divinely orchestrated is already unfolding in your life. What if I told you that between July 30th and 31st, 3 divine miracles, yes, 3 are being placed directly in your path, ready to shift your finances, your relationships, and your soul purpose forever? That's not a prediction. That's an energetic reality already set in motion. You didn't land here by accident. You were guided. And I say that not as a poetic idea, but as someone who deeply understands the language of the cosmos. The moment you clicked this video, something within you whispered, "It's time. Time to awaken. Time to receive. Time to finally stop settling for less than what your spirit was created for." You see, Libra, as a soul governed by Venus, the planet of love, beauty, and divine harmony, you carry within you a powerful compass that always longs for balance, truth, and sacred connection. But the truth is, you've spent so much of your energy creating harmony for others that somewhere along the way, your own light began to flicker. Not fade. Just flicker. But now, the divine is reigniting that flame. And this reading is part of that ignition. Between July 30th and 31st, a portal is opening. It's real, it's rare, and it's ready. The planets are aligning in your favor, Venus forming a fated trine with Uranus, Mercury expanding with Jupiter, and the moon moving through deep emotional waters into wide spiritual skies. That cosmic choreography is not just beautiful, it's intentional. And it's pointed at you. So ask yourself, why now? Why this moment? Why this message? Maybe your finances have been unpredictable. Maybe your heart has been quietly breaking in ways you haven't shared. Or maybe you've just been wondering what's next. What's the deeper purpose in all of this? Libra, what's next is this: a divine financial breakthrough, an awakening of the heart, and a soul mission activation that will bring you back home to yourself. But none of that will matter unless you're open to it. That's why I invite you to do something simple but powerful. Take a breath. Place your hand on your heart. And if any part of you feels the truth in what you've just heard, I want you to type in the comments right now, "I am ready for my miracles." Not for me. For you. For your energy. For your future. And before we begin, let me take a moment to offer my deepest gratitude for your presence here. Every view, every like, every comment, and every soul who chooses to subscribe to Zodiac Whisper Tarot brings us closer together as a cosmic family. Your support is not just appreciated, it is sacred. It fuels this channel and allows me to continue delivering messages that may transform not just your day but your destiny. You are not watching this alone. You are part of a collective movement, souls awakening together. And let me just say, Libra, you will want to stay with me until the very end of today's message. Because what the universe is preparing to reveal to you is not only powerful, it's stunning. And one last question before we dive deeper: what have you done consciously or unconsciously that called this moment into your life? Stay with me. Because the answers are already on their way. It begins with a whisper, perhaps a feeling in your chest, or a sudden pulse of clarity when you look at your bank account, your inbox, or even your long-forgotten dreams. That whisper is the voice of alignment. And what it's telling you now is simple but powerful: the season of delay is over, Libra. You've waited. You've worked. You've sacrificed your energy for systems and structures that didn't fully see you. But with the celestial alignment of Venus in Virgo harmonizing with Uranus in Taurus, and Mercury joining expansive Jupiter, the universe is shifting the lens through which your worth is viewed not just by others, but by yourself. This particular combination of planetary energy is more than a fleeting cosmic event. It's a rare invitation to step into financial alignment that matches your inner brilliance. Uranus, the awakener, brings sudden breakthroughs, yes, even miracles, while Venus in grounded Virgo asks us to honor what is sacred in the details, the systems, the effort we've poured into our craft. You may find that something you've done in the past, an idea you quietly nurtured, a proposal you shelved, or even a conversation you thought went nowhere suddenly resurfaces with new energy. Like golden seeds finally sprouting after a long season of silence. And here's the truth I want you to sit with: sometimes the world doesn't reward us right away, not because we aren't worthy, but because we weren't yet ready to own our value out loud. That's the real breakthrough happening now, Libra. Not just the possibility of money, but the invitation to redefine wealth from within. You've been giving premium energy while asking for pennies in return. Now, that internal imbalance is being corrected. The universe is repricing you, adjusting your energetic value to match the light you've carried all along. This isn't only about receiving more money, though. That may happen through surprise bonuses, new job offers, or random windfalls. It's about you finally seeing your ideas, your time, your gifts as sacred currency. There's a quiet revolution underway inside you. And it starts with recognizing that you don't have to work yourself into exhaustion to be worthy. You simply have to believe that your existence, your voice, your mind, your creativity was never meant to be discounted. In moments like these, some of the signs may appear subtle but unmistakable. A long-lost contact may reach out with a proposal. A former boss or colleague might mention an opportunity. You could suddenly feel the impulse to raise your rates, start a side project, or walk away from something draining. You might begin dreaming of symbols, golden doors, coins, or the number 888 repeating itself in your daily life. Those are not coincidences. They're signposts from the unseen, confirming you're on the path of energetic wealth, not just material gain. And it's okay if you feel nervous. Sometimes divine expansion doesn't feel like excitement at first, it feels like discomfort. Like growing pains. Like, what if I really can do this? What if I deserve more than I thought? That's when you breathe. You listen inward. And you remember the gentle wisdom passed down through generations. You are not required to shrink to be safe. You are not called to dim your light to keep others comfortable. You are here to steward the blessings you've been entrusted with, and yes, that includes financial ones too. So as this energy washes over you, let me gently ask, what if this breakthrough isn't waiting for a better moment? What if it's already here waiting for you to say yes? Libra, your permission is the key. You don't have to force anything. Just recognize what already wants to flow toward you. Receive it. Trust it. Walk through the golden door when it opens, and remember that choosing joy, abundance, and self-worth isn't selfish. It's sacred. Sometimes the heart speaks long before the mind understands, and in this moment, Libra, that whisper within you is growing louder. Not through noise or drama, but through stillness, clarity, and undeniable sensation. That's what happens when Venus, your ruling planet, begins weaving a karmic thread through the fabric of your emotional life. The energy now is not about surface-level romance or the illusion of connection. It's about soul truth. And that truth always arrives with both beauty and bravery. As Venus forms a karmic alignment with key planetary influences in your relationship sector, something deeply personal is rising to the surface. For some, it may be the arrival of a new connection, sudden, almost too familiar, like meeting someone for the first time yet feeling like you've known them forever. This is not an accident. You're recognizing each other not just with your eyes, but with your energy. For others, someone from the past may return not to repeat old pain, but to help you close a chapter that never truly ended. There's no guarantee that it will lead to reconciliation, but it may finally offer resolution. And sometimes, that's the healing you've truly needed all along. And then there's a third path. One that doesn't involve anyone new or old, but instead, the courage to finally speak a truth you've been carrying in silence. Maybe to your current partner. Maybe to yourself. When that moment arrives, you may find that the emotional weight you've been holding dissolves, not because the pain didn't matter, but because you finally honored it enough to release it. What's unfolding now is not about fixing or forcing love. It's about allowing love to evolve. And real love, the kind that grows and stays, often begins the moment you stop pretending to be someone you're not. That's why these next few days may feel intense at times, not because something is wrong, but because something long buried is rising for air. You might feel an urge to cry without understanding why. You may dream of people you haven't thought about in years. You may find your chest warming or your breath shortening when someone speaks a word that touches an unhealed place. These are not random occurrences. They're energetic confirmations that your heart is being recalibrated to a higher truth. And just like the soft unfolding of a rose, this process can't be rushed. But it can be welcomed. The number May 6 show up in your surroundings, reminding you of divine harmony and sacred union. You may see butterflies, symbols of transformation through gentle surrender. Even the soft sound of a song or the brush of a memory can act as a doorway to release. In these moments, you are being reminded of something gentle and timeless, that love is not earned through perfection. It doesn't require you to perform or to prove. Love in its highest form is simply recognized. It arrives when you are most yourself, not most polished. And the right soul will never ask you to shrink to be loved. They will meet you at your depth and still say, "I see you. I choose you." And if you're walking alone right now, know that solitude is not the absence of love. It's the clearing ground for something more aligned. Sometimes the divine allows us to sit in silence, not as punishment but as preparation. Because the love that is worthy of you is not built from fear or patterns, it is born of freedom and truth. So I gently ask you, Libra, what would it feel like to stop chasing safety and start embracing honesty? What would it mean to let your love story begin with the most important connection of all, the one between you and your own truth? You don't have to rush toward the next chapter. But you do have to trust that it's being written. And this time, you get to co-author it not with fear, but with clarity. Because no matter what happens next, your heart is finally ready to be heard. There are moments in life when something inside you begins to shift quietly at first, like a gentle breeze brushing against a window you forgot was open. You may not know exactly what it is, but you feel it in your body, your breath, the way your thoughts move. This is what happens when the moon transitions from intense, emotionally charged Scorpio into visionary, truth-seeking Sagittarius. For you, Libra, this movement during July 30th and 31st is more than just an astrological fact. It's a signal. Not from outside you, but from the deepest truth within, that you are not here to just balance other people's lives. You're here to live your own in full color and full purpose. This phase marks a turning point not in what you do, but in how you listen to your inner knowing. The alignment between Mercury and Jupiter is expanding the voice of your intuition, and it's becoming harder to ignore. You may find yourself suddenly questioning things you've accepted for years. Your career, your location, your relationships, all of them might start to feel either deeply aligned or completely out of sync. And while that realization can feel unsettling, it's actually a blessing. Because clarity is a gift, even when it disrupts comfort. What's emerging now is not confusion. It's truth. And it comes with a powerful invitation to stop pretending that you're satisfied when something in your soul is craving more. This is the moment when the mask becomes too heavy, the routine too hollow, and the old self too small for who you're becoming. You're not being called to run away from your life, you're being called to expand it. To make it a truer reflection of your light. Perhaps you've already been feeling it. That pull to write. That nudge to teach, create, speak, or simply tell your story without sugarcoating it. These nudges are not distractions. They're directions. A gentle reminder that your purpose isn't found in perfection, but in presence. The discomfort you feel isn't a sign that something is wrong, it's a signal that something deeper is waking up inside of you. Sometimes, when you're on the edge of something great, fear disguises itself as logic. You may hear the voice in your head say, "Now's not the time," or, "Who are you to think you can do that?" But that's not the voice of truth. That's the echo of limitation. The truth is softer, but stronger. It says, "You were made for this." You are allowed to grow past who you've been. You're allowed to change your mind, your path, your priorities. That's the quiet authority of a soul coming into alignment. And yes, it takes courage. But you don't have to leap into the unknown all at once. You just have to take the next honest step. Maybe that's journaling what's been rising inside you. Maybe it's researching the dream you've tucked away. Maybe it's having one honest conversation with yourself or someone else that shifts everything. Even if your voice trembles, speak. Even if your hands shake, write. Even if you're unsure how it ends, begin. Because beginnings rarely feel certain. They just feel alive. If you've been seeing repeating numbers like 111 or 777, if you've been waking up with your chest tight or your throat closed, if you've felt a sudden surge of energy around a new idea, know that this is your soul preparing you. You're not losing control, you're gaining clarity. And no, you don't need permission. You just need willingness. As you step into this window of activation, remember that you are not being pushed into something unnatural. You're being returned to something essential. You don't need to be fearless. You just need to be faithful to yourself, your truth, and the quiet calling that's been waiting for you to say yes. You were not created to simply survive the world's expectations. You were created to express something only you can offer. And maybe, just maybe, this is the chapter where you finally begin. When energy begins to move in unseen ways, it often whispers through symbols, small, sacred echoes from the universe that resonate more deeply than words. Numbers and colors have long been part of that language. Not because they hold power on their own, but because they reflect the power that's already stirring within you. Right now, Libra, your life is intersecting with something extraordinary, and understanding these symbols isn't about superstition. It's about alignment. It's about anchoring into meaning so you can navigate this new chapter with more clarity, confidence, and calm. Let's begin with the numbers. During July 30th and 31st, the vibrational presence of 6, 7, and 8 is surrounding your energetic field. These aren't random. They're frequencies that resonate with specific shifts you're being invited into. The number 6 is the heart's number. It carries a quiet rhythm of harmony, soul-level love, and restoration. It doesn't demand attention, it invites peace. When 6 shows up, it's often reminding you to realign with what feels safe, steady, and true in your emotional life. This might mean choosing gentleness over judgment, connection over performance, or healing over holding on. Then there's 8, a number long associated with abundance and inner power. But let me clarify something. Real abundance isn't about chasing wealth for validation. It's about recognizing your ability to create, contribute, and receive without fear. The number 8 reminds you that your energy is a currency. How you use it, protect it, and direct it determines what flows back to you. And if you've been giving too much away, whether in time, care, or creativity, 8 calls you back to center. To remember that your worth isn't up for negotiation. It's already established. And finally, the number 7. A deeply spiritual and intuitive vibration, yes, but more importantly, one that urges you to pause. Reflect. Listen. It represents trust in the unseen path. That even when you don't know every step ahead, your inner guidance is quietly preparing you for something greater. When 7 appears, it often brings moments of solitude, not to isolate you, but to help you return to your voice. The one that knows what's right even when logic argues otherwise. I encourage you to write these numbers 6, 7, and 8 on paper. Keep them beside your journal, your workspace, or your meditation space over the next 2 days. Not as a ritual, but as a reminder that you are supported, that the universe is intelligent, and that you are more intuitive than you've ever realized. Now, let's talk about color. Color, like number, is a form of energetic code. It shapes how you feel, how others respond to you, and how aligned you are with the intentions you set. That means what you wear, what surrounds you, and what you focus on can have a greater impact than usual. Wearing gold or golden tones isn't about looking wealthy, it's about embodying confidence. It unlocks energy that says, I am allowed to shine. I am not afraid to be seen. I no longer apologize for what I carry. Peach or soft rose tones connect to the heart. They bring softness where there was tension, compassion where there was blame. If your emotions have felt overwhelming or raw lately, this color supports emotional recalibration. And indigo deep violet, almost midnight blue eyes for intuition. If you've been asking for answers, indigo helps you hear the ones already whispering inside you. It invites clarity not from the world, but from within. If you can, meditate with these colors. or simply visualize yourself surrounded by them. They don't need to be dramatic. Even a scarf, a candle, or a note on your mirror can help shift your energy back into harmony. Remember, the power is not in the object, it's in your awareness. That's where true attraction begins. And maybe that's the quiet wisdom in all of this. The more you live with intention, the less you need to force anything. You don't have to chase the miracle, Libra. You just have to align with it. And everything else starts falling into place. Not everything that heals makes noise. Sometimes, the most profound transformations begin in silence, in the gentle pause before the day begins, in the choice to nourish your body more mindfully, in the decision to show yourself the compassion you've long given others. As you've now moved through the awareness of divine timing in your finances, the stirrings of realignment in love, and the soul-level awakening of your purpose, it becomes clear that no external miracle can truly take root unless the internal landscape is ready to receive it. And that is where self-healing becomes sacred. This isn't about perfection. It's about participation. Healing, growth, alignment, they all ask for your presence more than your performance. Start simply. Begin with your breath. Just 5 minutes each morning can change the tone of your entire day. Inhale deeply for 4 seconds. Hold it for 4. Exhale for 6. Let your nervous system learn that safety doesn't have to wait until all problems are solved. It can begin now, in your body. These brief moments of calm are not escapes from reality. They are foundations for a more grounded one. And when it comes to your physical health, pay attention to what your body is asking for, not just what it can tolerate, but what it truly needs. If you've been feeling anxious, restless, or exhausted, consider whether your system is lacking in magnesium, B12, or essential fatty acids. These are not magic pills. But they are small, biological steps toward clarity, especially if your sleep has been disrupted or your energy inconsistent. Hydration is more than water, it's about vibrant, living foods. Think fruits, leafy greens, coconuts, and cucumbers. You don't need to overhaul everything. Just start with one new habit that honors the vessel your soul lives in. In your work life, don't ignore the signs that something is shifting. If the job that once lit you up now leaves you feeling empty, that's not laziness, it's a signal. You're evolving. And as you evolve, the container that once fit you may feel too small. Take time to write down 3 activities that make you feel most alive, even if they don't seem career-worthy yet. Sometimes the universe sends opportunity in unexpected packaging. Be willing to open it. Be willing to say yes even if it doesn't look like your 5-year plan. Financially, the message is to cultivate mindful stewardship. Start a wealth journal, if you haven't already, not to track expenses, but to celebrate every dollar that flows into your life. Whether it's your salary, a gift, a refund, or a random act of generosity, record it with gratitude. This practice retrains your brain from scarcity to sufficiency. You don't need to know how the entire financial picture will come together. You just need to begin with one clear intention. The energy of money moves when we pay attention to it with care instead of fear. In love, the healing begins with how you love yourself. Not in cliché, but in quiet rituals of acknowledgement. Thank yourself for surviving. For showing up. For being willing to love again, even when your heart has been stretched and scarred. And when thoughts of someone who hurt you arise, don't push them away with shame or bitterness. Instead, breathe into that memory and whisper inside your heart, I forgive you not because you were right, but because I deserve peace. That is not weakness. That is strength in its most elegant form. If there's one thing I've learned as a guide in this work, it's that healing doesn't happen all at once, but it does respond to intention. One choice at a time. One breath at a time. One act of love toward yourself at a time. And maybe this is the quiet commandment we too often forget: take care of what you've been given. Steward your body, your gifts, your time, your heart, not out of fear, but out of reverence. Because you, Libra, were never meant to carry the world for everyone else. You were meant to become the world for yourself, whole, luminous, and well. When all is said and done, Libra, what truly matters isn't just the miracles you've been promised, it's how you choose to welcome them into your life. Today's message wasn't meant to impress you with cosmic predictions, but to remind you of your own sacred authority. You've spent so much of your journey adjusting your light for others, compromising to keep peace, playing smaller just to avoid disappointing expectations. But what if peace isn't found in pleasing the world, but in returning to the truth of who you are? Every insight you've received in this reading, whether about finances, love, purpose, or healing, has been a gentle call to remember that you're not powerless. The universe isn't here to control your fate. It's here to co-create it with you. So let me ask you, what if everything you've ever wanted is already possible, but it's waiting for you to decide that you are ready? Are you willing to believe that your value doesn't need validation to exist? That your heart deserves to be heard, not hidden? That your path doesn't have to follow anyone else's expectations to be worthy? Now, maybe you're still unsure. Maybe parts of you feel hesitant or afraid. That's okay. Growth never asks you to be perfect, it only asks you to begin. And you've already done that by showing up here, by listening, by feeling even a small stirring of hope. So, Libra, as you walk away from this video and back into your life, I want you to carry one truth with you: you are allowed to choose yourself. You are allowed to pivot, to change, to dream bigger, to rest without guilt, to start again without apology. This is your season of return, not to the past, but to the version of you who's always been waiting beneath the noise, honest, whole, and wildly worthy. I invite you now to make your choice sacred. If something in your spirit was moved today, if even one part of your heart whispered, "This was for me," then don't let the energy pass. Anchor it. Declare it. Type in the comments, "I choose my own miracle." Let that be the first ripple of change, not from a but for you. And if this message touched you in any way, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to Zodiac Whisper Tarot, and share this with another Libra who may need to hear these words. Every like, every comment, every subscription brings this energy farther into the world, and you are a vital part of that ripple. Thank you, deeply and truly, for allowing me to be a part of your journey today. You have no idea how powerful your presence here is. The universe is not just aligning around you, it's aligning with you. Now, the pen is in your hand. What will you write next?